Hi friends, I'm Flutter. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to network in XR and why it's important. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about what I got out of the AWE conference that I attended this past June. Today, when I was going through LinkedIn, in my feed, I came across a maybe not so surprising quote from somebody. They were mentioning that less than 4% of jobs are entry level in gaming. So that makes it really hard to get into the gaming industry. Now, VR is not always about games. I am aware of that. However, how do you get your foot in the door? Well, one thing that I think is really important is relationship building. Also, in that post, it mentioned that a lot of people got their first jobs because they knew somebody. Now, networking is important because you want to work with someone that you really like, or maybe you have the same values, or you feel like you're going to work well together. So it goes both ways, for you and also for the person that you're going to work for. When I first started learning Unity and learning about spatial computing and XR, I was going through a boot camp, and this was in around the spring of 2021. And everyone was still in lockdown or staying at home because of the pandemic. And so there wasn't a lot of opportunities to go to in-person meetings or conferences. So I did a lot of networking online. I use LinkedIn and I used it then and I still use it today. I noticed that when I went to the AWE conference, everyone was asking for your LinkedIn. So that confirmed something that I already thought was that the the XR space and the conversation, the people were on LinkedIn. It wasn't my imagination because after going to one of the top conferences in this field, that's what everyone was asking you for. And so I was very happy that I had updated my page before I went to the conference. Also, during the time when I just started in this field, I went to hackathons also and any VR events. So I'd actually get into the headset and meet people socially in VR. So those were all great ways to meet people in the industry. And because at that time, especially, people were so used to scheduling video chats, you could really develop relationships at that time. However, in person is super important. And once, the pandemic was wrapping up and people were really getting out there again, I went to the MIT Reality Hack in 2023. And it was the first time that I had met anyone in person that I had been speaking to through, online platforms and just through the internet. And it was so exciting to actually meet people in person. And it really solidified the friendships and the relationships that I had been building for like probably over a year by that point. So this summer, when I decided to go to AWE, it's a big expense. So I'll be honest that it's not for everyone because it does require saving some money if you don't have it. And that's what I did. And I also waited for me, I waited until I had work to show because I'm working on that VR story game. It was nice to have that to talk about. And also, I'm glad I waited because I knew what I wanted to focus on, who I wanted to talk to, what I wanted to get out of an expensive conference, because I had been talking to so many people and just navigating the field for the last few years. So I'm glad I waited. And some people just jump right in and get something out of it. So it's really up to you. And when I attended VR events, that was really great too, because remember, there's such a great sense of presence in VR that you do develop those relationships because you can see the gestures of the avatar of the person. So you get a little bit more sense of them, just like how when I talk to you on video, you could see my expressions, you can hear my tone of voice. So those things also translate in VR, and you could even sense the person because their three-dimensional avatar is in front of you. So I thought that was really helpful. What I attended a lot at that time was Spatial Ape. And now people are going from that group of Spatial Ape, that kind of crew of people. They're going to be moving into Banter VR. So if you know Justin Barnett's VR Creator Club, they're going to be meeting up in there. So I'm excited about that. And also XR Women. XR Women is a group that I attended a lot at the beginning of my journey. And right now they meet in Engage. So there's a lot of opportunities to meet people in the space and learn about, who you want to work with and also what you want to do. I do think that it's also important to focus on an area. When I started this journey, I said that I was an XR designer. And I personally feel that that's pretty broad because that can mean augmented reality, that can mean virtual reality, mixed reality. I feel like that encompasses so many things that when I would talk to people, they didn't know where my skill set was. They kind of didn't know what I did because it wasn't really focused. And after, trying out projects in all of those areas, I thought to myself, well, I just really like virtual reality the best. And I want to create these really fanciful stories that you could immerse yourself and be in and be a part of. And I felt that VR was the best for that. And so that focus has also helped me from not getting distracted by all the different things out there to try. I think it's important to try all the tools and experiment, but the focus does help, one for you and for other people that you're talking to and meeting with. Also, because when I would go on some initial interviews, I would say to the company, "Oh, I'll do anything. I just want to be in this field." And that's really, that doesn't help them because they don't know if you're really a fit or not because you're just saying, "Oh, I'll do anything." So I do think also speaking to people, you see what their needs are, you kind of discover what you want to do. So there is a really nice give and take as you talk to people being newer to this space. So I do think that's a great reason to be networking. Also, if you can't afford to go out of town to a conference, I completely understand. And I believe that you should look for local events that could be in your area. I'm in the Midwest. I live between Chicago and Milwaukee. And there is a Chicago group that gets together. And I think there's more than one. But something cool that I just discovered is there's a Midwest Developers Conference coming up in November. And that's going to be in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, that's for people that want to create games. So it might be of interest to you. And what's cool is the person who is created this his name is Ben, and he's super passionate about this on LinkedIn. And I really appreciate that. And what he's talking about is like, it doesn't matter where you live anymore, and that talent could be anywhere. It could even be in the Midwest of the United States. And I just love that. So I'm going to be attending that. And I will put a link to that in the comments below in the description. But also, please look at the community tab on my channel because I'm starting to use that more for announcements or something quick that I want to say that I might not have time to create a video for it, but I want to tell you information that I'm finding in the industry or a cool picture, just something. So I'm going to start using that community tab more. So I just want to let you know about that. So a quick recap of AWE. Wow, it is really hard to describe what it was like to go to this conference in person in Long Beach this year. I was going to do a video just about this, but I really felt that it was kind of difficult to do because I met so many great people. I don't want to leave anyone out that I met. I also went to a lot of great talks. So it's hard to really put into a video what I got out of it because to me, it was like so enormous what I got out of it and really worth it. So I'll do my best to highlight some things because I don't want to just leave it so vague like that. First, like I said at the start of this video, it's important to network and meet people in person, especially because you're developing these relationships. And I met two classmates of mine that have never met in person before that were in my first boot camp back in 2021. And it really was emotional for me and wonderful to meet them. And I really hope that I stay in contact with them and forever. And I just feel that, when you find something passionate that you're really into, it's like those first people that are a part of that journey with you, you never forget them. It's really cool. So to meet them in person was amazing. What I would like to highlight are the things that I'm taking from that conference and the items that I'm taking a closer look at. One of those is Grow Kit Core, because I'd like to try some mixed reality ideas. Once my VR game is done, I'm going to get back into experiment mode. So that's when you may see some more videos from me. Right now, I've been trying to finish this game for some festivals coming up. So I haven't had a ton of time to experiment, but I'd like to look at this Grow Kit Core that 3 Pound Game is putting out because it's they give you a lot of core, no pun intended, functionality to just put into a prototype and start working with a design idea right away. And since I don't do mixed reality a lot, I thought this would be a good opportunity to check out that tool. And it integrates with Unity. I spoke to someone at the conference about that. It just sounds like it might be something worth looking at. So I will let you know how that goes. Also, I am reading. No, I just finished reading. I just finished today reading Spatial Design by Dominique Wu. And you can see that I got a lot out of it already because I have tons of little pages that I've highlighted. And I just want to, and I met her in person and she's great. And this is an awesome book that if you are new and you just want a comprehensive look of design in XR, I got a lot out of it too, even though I've been doing this for a little while. And there's even a workbook that goes with it. And what I like about the workbook is like you could draw a menu on the hand and sketch out your ideas. And there's these design checklists at the back that are just awesome. Like all the things that you don't want to forget about so that you've really covered everything before you put your app out there. There were 4 or 5 talks that I really liked that I went to, but I will have to say my favorite talk was Story Living by Joshua Rubin. And it literally moved me so much to tears. I don't know if I was tired from the conference since it was like the last day of the conference, or it just hit me the right way. I will put a link in the description to that talk because you may really enjoy it. I I feel that that's another really important reason to go to these events in person because that human connection I felt was we were in the same room. I was in the same room as the speaker and all the other people that were having these live reactions to what he was saying about really my vision too for the future of storytelling in VR. And my game, I believe, is in the environmental storytelling realm. I think that's the way that I'm creating my game. And that was one of the many different ways of storytelling that he spoke about. And it really moved me because when we were talking, I was talking earlier about career and finding a job and work, and AI could be something that's scary, that you think, oh gosh, AI is going to take my job. And something I'm always thinking about is like, well, how could we bring that human quality back, into our work or maintain that? How can we keep that uniqueness and make us someone that people want to hire or work with? And what he mentioned was creating jobs for actors through having actors act in stories in VR. And I just thought that was really cool. And I used to do a lot of live performance, so that meant a lot to me. And there's just a lot there that please watch that video if you're really interested in, I would almost say like human centric storytelling in virtual reality. That was really cool. Relationships take time to build. So take your time. It's going to take some practice to find out who resonates with you and who's going to support you, who really is your cheerleader in what your vision is in this space. And I really feel like this is building a career and not a job. There's a really good thing that Dominique says in her book. There's a lot of good things, as you can see. Here it is. While a job may not provide long-term security, a career built on individual strengths and adaptability can offer enduring opportunities. And what I'll say is that when you speak to people, you develop relationships, there's potential there for having more opportunities because you are taking your time to build something great. And I find that true for art as well. Thanks, friends. I hope that you enjoy networking as much as I do. I'll tell you one thing. I do have a lot of social anxiety, so I'm with you if you're nervous about it, but just get out there and meet people. You will find your people and you will have a lot of fun. If this is your passion, I promise you, you will find those people and they'll find you, and just make some great work. I can't wait to see what you create. Thanks, friends.